Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be on with one of my favorite people, Eartha Petersen-Farngalo. She is the head of strategy training for Google's Trust and Safety division. And just like me, our favorite sustainable gangster wears another hat. She's also the career fairy. She's a mom. She's a professional. She's a leader. She's a board member. OMG. Hello, Eartha.
Hi, Stephen. Great to be here.
Well, great to have you. So I'm going to just jump right into the sauce. Listen, you are in a position of leadership in a mostly male-dominated field. And first of all, thanks for all you do. But how do you challenge gender norms and feminine stereotypes?
Such a loaded question. Good one to start off with. I think for me in the tech space, it's really just about the small actions that you can take on a regular basis. I personally never volunteer to take notes in a meeting. And that might seem weird to some people, but there's this concept of like office housework that almost always gets tasked to women and that women almost always volunteer for, right? And it's something that as soon as you offer it, it sort of becomes a thing like, of course, there's a woman in the room to go ahead and take the notes for us, when really anyone is capable of taking notes and sending out feedback and sending out like what comes next in the meeting. So I personally try to avoid doing that. And then I also, as I lead my teams and have led teams in the past, try to make sure that women aren't doing that all the time. And as a leader, finding ways to really distribute a lot of that equitably. And it's not just the things like taking notes, it's the things like planning back when we were in the office, planning for like an office event to get people together, or planning some type of event to make people feel included. That office housework, which is critical, almost always falls to women. So I try not to do it myself and then give people the space to not do it and assign the work equitably to people who are not women.
You know, that is really, even though I got my green glasses on, that has really opened my eyes. And, you know, I always kind of sit back and wait for someone to assume that role of note-taking. So thank you for that. I challenge myself to be a better person based on your response. So I thank you for that. And, you know, it's just part of what you do as both a woman in the big corporate space, but also in your own being a badass woman in your own space about helping people elevate their career. Talk to me a little bit about who the career fairy is. Snap your fingers and make me wonderful. What is it?
I love it. I wish it was as easy as snapping my fingers and making people wonderful, but the Career Fairy is a coaching firm and it's really designed for millennials who are in corporate or in tech and who are struggling to really flourish in their career, who are either going through challenges where they feel like they aren't getting the support they need. They're kind of they haven't been intentional in their careers. It sort of happened along to where they are today. And they're ready for a challenge, ready for a pivot, but don't know exactly how to do that. So Career Fairy offers personalized one-on-one coaching to help them really, what I like to say is find their magic, find that special sauce, find what makes them happy, what brings them joy, and understand how to use that within their careers so they can flourish. I'm a big believer in the idea that not everyone is going to be a startup founder, and that's okay. Not everyone wants to be. I think that if we spend most of our time at work, we should be doing work that we really enjoy because it impacts our lives and the way we feel and the way we interact with our families. So Career Fairy really, really helps people get some clarity in what they want to do, gives them strategic and tactical ways to go do those things. And at the end of the day, ultimately tries to help them find their magic so they can flourish in their career.
You know, it's really funny, but really important to realize. I hear you using words like flourish and enjoy. And as a teacher and as an educator, you know, my big thing is engagement, but beyond engagement, but engagement can just be busy. What I love about what you're talking about is really fulfillment, because at the end of the day, it sounds like that's what you're all about. And I really love that. And I'm so grateful to have this moment with you. And I think it really speaks to what my next question is going to be, because I think you do it each and every way and every day. What do you do to lift up women of color in workplace and in your community?
This is huge. I think for me, it's really paying it forward, or paying it backwards, probably the best way to go, and paying it forward. I can't tell you how many brilliant women and men in my life have offered me a piece of feedback or pulled me to the side or given me an opportunity when I didn't have one, or invited me physically to the table to be a part of the conversation. So I really proactively seek opportunities to do that. Whether it is sitting with someone at work and helping them write their performance review, right? And even something as simple as say this word instead of this one, that could potentially help you. And then of course, the deeper ones, those are like the one-off engagements, and then deeper ones is mentoring. I have a mentor, a mentee that I met years ago. She was an intern at my company. This is pre-Google. I worked at AT&T at the time. She was an intern. I can't even remember how we got in touch, but she reached out to me. She was in like her last year of college, and this had to have been almost 10 years ago now, and we are still in contact today. I think the key here is I'm not always just imparting knowledge on her, right? It's really us having this two-way street where we're learning from each other. So I think about how I help, young women and help uplift them. It's being a voice and being a voice often, but also being an ear for them, and then helping to clear the path for them as they need to. A lot of times people just need an objective voice. And I love being able to say like, well, have you considered X, right? And it's a simple question that can kind of change the way they look at things. Or even, hey, you're thinking about talking to your manager and you want to say why, please don't do why. Try saying Z instead. So always just finding opportunities to help them be their best selves, even if it's as simple as listening or challenging them with a super simple question.
I always say being your best in this moment allows you to be your best in the next moment. And in that spirit, I want to know if there's anyone you want to shout out today, because here we are in a great moment. So who do you want to shout out today?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Who do I want to shout out? I'm actually not going to shout out a woman. I'm going to shout out my husband, because I do think that when you think about strong women and you think about trying to be this boss that you described me as in the beginning, a male told me years ago, the best career decision you can make is who you marry. And I'm so young and early in my career, and I was like, what are you talking about? But I realized that as I shape my career as a leader, and as I continue to go, hopefully up and to the right, and family being such an important thing to me, the person in your life that helps support those goals is so critical. And having a partner that shares your expectations, shares your goals, and since we're talking about Women's History Month, bends all those gender norms, right? Who are not like, well, babe, I was waiting for you to cook. It's like, hell, I can jump in and cook too, right? And helping us do the things in our family that allow us to do the things that flourish in our personal careers and in our professional work that we do. So I'll shout out my awesome husband, Farngalo.
And I've met him, and I will tell you, he is awesome. So, and he gets down and gets dirty, which I absolutely love. So, I know you've got a lot of advice for young girls and young women. What's one big takeaway at this very critical time for all of us in this very important month, which should be extended all year, all decade, and into all perpetuity?
Oh, I've thought about this one a lot because I have a little one at home, and she's a bright, brilliant, almost 2-year-old, and I think she's going to run the world one day. And I always tell her, be bold and be brave. But I also harken back to advice that my mom gave me when I was a child, and that is, to your own self, be true. I think there's so much coming at women and girls today, and be brave, be bold, do this, don't do that. You want to flourish, you want to this. At the end of the day, take all of that, but to your own self, be true. You know what's important for you. You know what's critical for you. You know what's top of mind for you, and you know who you are as a person. Never, ever, ever compromise on any of that, especially if it makes you think that if you're like, well, if I do this, I'll go to this level, or if I think about this, this will propel me, or it'll make me be liked in this group, or give me more opportunity. If it doesn't feel well in your gut, don't do it. So to your own self, be true. And the last thing I would say is, you are enough. You are absolutely enough.
Wow. It's funny because I see you sitting there with that Sustainable Gangster shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
And, I want to shout out your work and thank you for all you do as a board member of Bronx Machine. But that advice that you give is really what has got this organization to where it is today. So
absolutely,
in a nutshell, why did you choose Bronx Machine? And why is that service so important to you?
I like to say Bronx Machine chose me. I think I was really inspired by this big, audacious challenging yet attainable mission of the Green Bronx Machine, right? To really take the art and science of growing food and really change the world and change communities and schools. And it's something that when I think about being a community person and being a person who wants to be known as a human being, like a doer, I think this is such an organization that allows us to go do great work, and great work that matters, and great work that outlasts all of us if we do it well and do it right. So I chose Green Bronx Machine because it's a hell of a exciting and challenging goal, but one with all the right people in place to actually get it done.
Well, thank you.
And I also love
and where do people get that amazing sustainable gangster t-shirt? Where can they get one?
Steven, you know, this is available on the Green Bronx Machine website.
I know, but I want the world to know. Tell them Eartha sent you. Go to the Green Bronx Machine website and grab that shirt. So
absolutely.
And speaking of getting in touch, I want people to get in touch with you. Where can people meet you? Where can people find you? What's the best way to get some of your Black girl magic in people's lives and get the career ferry to activate you to the next step of fulfillment and personal satisfaction?
I love that, and I love the opportunity. I think the best way professionally is on LinkedIn. I'm Eartha Petersen, probably the only Eartha on LinkedIn, and certainly the only Eartha Petersen-Farngalo. But you can also check out my website, thecareerferry.com.
Awesome. So folks, go to careerferry.com. Eartha, so great to see you. Thank you. God bless you. I can't wait to see Noah. I got some surprises for you guys. And this month and every month should be Women's History Month. And Eartha, thank you for making history all around the world. And one quick thing, I just gotta, internet safety is so important, particularly for our little ones. Is there any advice you can give to parents who are at home? I'm so grateful for the work you do. So many parents are getting online. So many people who are going to see this have little ones at home. What's something a parent should know about the internet?
A parent should know that a child should always be supervised on the internet. That's what I will say. It's a great, great, great place, but there are some bad actors out there. And my team at work is doing our best to minimize exposure to those bad actors and kick them off when we see them. But please supervise your children on there. And yeah, I'll end with that. Supervise your children and teach them the good, positive habits. And also, they shouldn't be spending that much time on the internet. My 2-year-old, at least, try to limit their screen time as much as they can. And there's far smarter people in the education and psychological space who can tell you like what's appropriate time. But I know that it's hard, and sometimes YouTube is a great place to stick them in front while you're like trying to get something done. I know certainly as I comb my daughter's hair or we're in the car stuck in New York traffic, YouTube is our savior, YouTube Kids. But every time you can, try to supervise what's there, supervise them as they're on there, and teach them some good habits.
I always say my takeaway advice to parents out there, and this is something I'd love for you to share with your people, is just take the device out of the room at night. More often than not, the kids wake up in the middle of the night, they're bored, they get online, and that's where the danger zone is. So some of the easiest way to have internet safety is just take the device away at night when they're sleeping. But thank you for all you do. God bless you. I can't wait to see you in person. I'm excited. Thank you for making Epic happen, and see you soon. Thanks for joining us today.
Si se puede. Thanks,
Si se puede. Bye-bye.